Hey everyone, welcome to a live webinar event with XMD Academy. I have the pleasure of introducing you all to Ashley Sparling. Thank you for joining us, Ashley.
Hey, no, thank you for having me on here. That's cool.
Tonight we're going to be discussing Ashley's amazing workflow of hair creation for AAA Games. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Now let's get started. Ashley, if you could just tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure thing. So, hi everyone. I'm Ashley Sparling, as Mike just said. So, I am a lead character artist at the moment at the Quebec studio at Ubisoft. And at the moment, we're working on Gods and Monsters. So, if you guys haven't checked it out, go and check out that out over at YouTube. We had a trailer done for that. So I've been in the industry for about almost 11 years now. So, and I've worked on different games. So from mobile games to VR stuff, to even doing 3D printing for like places like Louis Vuitton and stuff. So I've got kind of a whole load of experience in different industries, not just games, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell, basically. So,
yeah, I believe you had a demo to share with everyone.
Yes, I do. If people are ready for some demo time, so it's all right to start sharing my screen now.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Is it allowing you?
It should be allowing me. Let's give it a go. Just have to make sure I'm on the right screen. Everybody see my screen today.
Yep, I can see it.
Cool. Awesome. By the way, I'm sorry if I start singing randomly because it's just a thing I do when I work, and my co-workers are a little bit like, what the heck are you doing? Actually, we've got a new PM, and she actually joins in with me singing, which is good. So I'm not just the normal singing person in my team anymore. So okay. So I don't know if all of you guys had seen the free tutorials that we put up. If not, why not? End this now, and go and watch them. No, don't do that. Stay here. So go and watch them after. Okay. If you haven't, go and check them out. So I basically tell you a few little tips and tricks, and we'll kind of go do a little bit of review on what I taught over there. But I basically show you as well how to create a hair texture using fiber mesh. I'll very quickly go over that here as well. I won't do the whole process, but just so you guys can see it in ZBrush. Those naughty people who didn't go and watch it, go watch it. No. So anyway, so when I very first start to create hair, I go out and find reference of what I want, the normal stuff, But the other thing that I like to do is, now this is something that I base my whole haircut on, and this will be kind of like the core of the course that we're doing as well. So I basically, actually, I'm going too fast here. I'll slow down. So basically, the first thing I actually do in ZBrush, once I've got my beautiful head model. He's not so beautiful. He's a little bit grumpy, but it's okay. It's okay. We can deal with that. So what we do, we create just a blocking of the hair. So it's something very quick, very simple, just to give us an idea of what type of hairstyle we want, because we'll be using this block out as well when we get into Maya, or if you're using Max, you can do it in Max as well. So after I've got my block out, we're going to jump over to this. I then create the hairline. This is just using poly paints. So it's just normal standard poly paint. And we actually draw around the hairline just so we get an idea of the margin, basically. Okay. So once we do that, I then use this technique, which is a wig making technique. So like traditional wig making. Because one of the biggest problems that I found that I had when creating hair was I never knew where to place the hair cards. And I always found that I got gaps and it just looked awful. Like the very first hair model I ever done, it was like on a self-portrait back in school. Look rubbish. So it's taken me a few years to kind of create a technique that could help me and to help other people kind of place hair. So it wasn't until somebody said to me, oh, have you ever looked about the inside of a wig? And I was like, you know what? I have not. So I then started to look up wig hair templates and things. So this is what this is based on here. Let me just quickly grab this. So basically what we've done, we've created the outline. And what we do with how wigs are made, we basically I normally start from this point, which is kind of like the peaks like of your hairline right here. And we'll do the first line. And then we start to build these other lines that come out. So you kind of I did this very quickly. It's not the best example in the world, but it's a very, very quick one. But you kind of want to make sure you have like an even distance on these, okay? I know, that's not an even distance, I know. So you keep an even distance all the way until you get to the root. So it's like the receding hairline, basically. So once you get to there, you finish your final one, so you bring that round. And then once you get to that point, you come over to here. And from the receding hairline, you're going to create this triangle. So basically what this is, it's going to start to change the direction of the hair. So then you can start getting like the bits that will flow over and things like that. So once you've done that, you just fill in these lines, again, keeping it a nice even distance. And these ones were kind of just the little fill ones. So you just blend them in just to get to there. And then what you want to do is you need to think of a cross-on. I know, most weirdest thing in the world, but it works. Okay, so you draw a cross-on your head. So we're going to create this shape, and then we kind of put a circle. This is for the crown, basically. So this is when we get like the spiral part of your hair. So it kind of looks like your hair is being built from that area, but it's not. It's just the way it kind of parts and things like that. Because everybody has one of these, whether you've got long hair, short hair, whatever hair you like, you all have this spiral. Okay, so then once you have this part, so the cross on, you then start to fill in the lines going the other way. So they're kind of contradict. Oh, I can't even say the word.
Contradict.
Contradict. Thank you very much. So they're contradicting each other. So you've got the ones that are going this way, and then you've got the ones coming this way. And then you just fill that all the way down until you get to the receding hairline. Okay.
You had a quick question real quick.
Yeah, sure thing.
You ask, does it apply for females too?
Yes. So this will apply for any hairstyle that you do, whether it's curly hair, straight hair, long hair, wavy hair, even things like frizzy hair, like mohawks, anything. You can apply this technique to all of it. So if you guys get to ever check out my art station, I've got a few different hairstyles on there, and they were all using this technique. So is there any other questions, or is everyone good? Is everyone good?
Not yet.
Now? Okay, fair enough. So I'm here all night. Well, I'm not here all night, but you know. So
till 10 o'clock.
Till 10 o'clock, and then we've all got to leave. So anyway, we'll move on. So after we've done that, because that's one of the things I should have mentioned before, my base mesh actually has UVs on them already. But if you don't have UVs on your thing, you can just generate them in ZBrush, and as long as you export out your base mesh, you'll be able to bring them in. So once we have that, we will come over to here if you've got UVs. If not, you have to run the UV 𝐻𝐈𝐕𝐄. I know I'm very technical with my words. It's amazing. So honestly, in the course, I'm a bit more specific on what you need to do. I just want to put it out there. So then what you do, you'll do a poly paint from. You will do texture new from poly paint, and then what they will do is they'll bake everything down onto a texture sheet. So now, once we've done that, we will then export it out, and then we will jump into Maya. So, so what I'm going to do now, so I've got my base head and I've got my actual, my hair cap. So basically what I did, I duplicated the mesh. And so if we see here, I'll just quickly show you guys, and so you guys can see and believe that I'm not lying to you, that these meshes are basically the exact same. And what I've done is I've just cut out the area that I don't need, because we're going to use this as our, as I said, as a hair cap. So we'll actually be using xgen to create our hair planes. So if I undo that, and so I've got my texture on here, and then what I want to do is I want to come over to xgen. Now with this, I'm going to come over here and say, I'm going to click on the cap and say create new description. So now you can call this whatever you want. If it's a long hair you're doing, great, call it long hair. So, but what we actually need to do is call it, the main part of the hair needs to be in this part. Okay, so if we call this long hair, don't judge my spelling because I know I'm rubbish. And for this one, we're going to call it first pass or first layer. So first layer. And then there's a few settings that we want to do on this. We want to say place shapes, and we're going to say at specific points. Okay. So now when we click create, it will have a little think, and you'll get this message. Don't worry about that. Ignore it. It's not important. Not for what we need it for anyway. So then what I want to do is I'm going to come over to this little plus, and we're just going to place one hair down. Okay. So now once I've got that first spike, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little bit of a magic trick. So I think it's a magic trick anyway. When I found it out, I was like,
everybody likes magic.
Hell yeah. Wanna make magic? No, I'm not going to sing the whole way through that. So basically what I want to do is after I've done this, I'm going to right click and I'm going to go guide control point. So what you will see here, if I zoom in close, you'll see that it's given me some little points. So what I would like to do, oh, that should be another thing that I should say as well. What I've done is, as well, I've brought in that, that block out of my hair. So I'm going to use this as a guide to actually see how far I want to push the curves out and in. So I'm kind of using it as a ghost template. So if you want, you can come over here and have it as a ghost. So if we just turn off wireframe. So I kind of turn this on and off as I go. For now, I'm just going to turn it off, but just to let you guys know it is there and we do use it. So if I turn that off. So back to my lonely little curve. We're going to grab that main point and we're just going to bring it down. So basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to work out the length of what my curve is. And I'm just going to bring these round. I'm just going to give it a little wiggle, because what we want to do is we need to, even with straight hair, we kind of want to make sure that we've got like a nice curve to it, because it's all about you got to think as the hair as its own character in a way. So we don't want just to create it straight boring, unless you do. I don't know, you could be doing a cyborg girl or something with long straight hair. It doesn't have to be a cyborg girl, you could do a cyborg boy. So it's up to you. But I always like to put like a little bit of rhythm in the hair just to keep it going. So we're gonna add this as a little curve, and we kind of want to make sure we have it coming out from the hair, so we've got like a little bit of space. Okay, so once we've done that, I'm just going to go back to objects. We're going to click on the hair again. We're going to click the plus sign again, and then I'm going to do one in the middle. Okay, and again we will go guide control points, and we'll bring that all the way down to a similar length. And again, we're going to give it a little wiggle, make sure we've got like some curviness to it, bringing that character into the hair. Like that. And then we're going to select this one, and we have a mirror feature. So if we click mirror, nothing happens. Why doesn't that happen? Okay, that's unusual. Trust this. When I do a demo, it don't work. Why?
Always got technical difficulties.
Oh, okay. I know why. I know why. What we're going to do. This could be a reason, because I've got loads of curves and stuff here already. I'm just going to delete this. See what's going on. See why is it not working. Create. Seems to be creating a curve, not a... instead of a mirror, which does not help us at all. We'll try it one more time. If not, we'll do it by hand.
There we go.
Voila. Perfect.
Problem solving at its best.
I'm not sure it's going to work. I'm not sure it's going to work. So once we've done this, that wasn't the magic trick, by the way. That was not the magic trick. What the magic trick is. So what you saw is I created this curve and I created this curve, but I had to modify both curves to kind of do what I want it to do. Here's the magic trick. We're going to click this again, and we're going to go in the middle. Magic. Yeah, that was it. Sorry, that was I gave all that hype and it was for nothing. So I'm terribly sorry. So again, we can click mirror and we can go to the other side. Okay. So now we've got these, we can then do our second layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next layer here. And I kind of don't want to put it exactly over the top. I kind of want to put it over to the side a little bit. So what we can do, and if by magic, we don't have to create our curve again because it's already created. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to scale it a little bit just so it will come down and kind of make it flow a little bit nicer. And then what I'm going to do again, I'm going to create a point in between this. Now, this is the important part of trying to make sure that we have no gaps in our hair. And by doing this technique, so it's kind of like a staggered technique, we kind of don't get those nasty gaps because we're kind of creating this base layer with staggered steps in it. But I'm going to quickly just put all of these in because you guys don't want to sit here watching me do this all night. Unless you do, we can keep going. So I'm going to grab these two and we're going to mirror it again. Now, I don't really want to put one in the middle again because it's going to start looking a bit like mirrored effect. So what we will do, we'll just stick one to the side and then we can kind of adapt it later. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, because you'll see here now these, we select these, and then if we come over to our XGen tab, we can actually click on this, which one is it? Sculpt Guides. So it's this one over here. And then by pushing B and just the left mouse button, I had to work out what side was my left and right then. So sorry about that. And what we can actually do, we can actually start to sculpt in our hair like this. So we can start to create that little bit of wiggle in these. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to make sure that the bottom hair is longer than that second layer. So we'll just make that a little bit like that. And then what we can do is we can just flick it up just to give it a little bit more character to the hair. Okay, so you're thinking, okay, this is good, but I still don't see hairplanes or anything. I don't see how this is gonna help. So what we can do, if we do a preview, actually, what we're going to do is say, come over to geometry primitives over in the primitives, and we're going to say at guide location. So what that has now done, it has now put a one hair for each spline. So what we can do, we can turn off tubes because we want this as hairplanes. And we can actually create this to make it go a little bit bigger. So now you can start to see that we're starting to get a few hairplanes. So this is not the final thing that we're going to use. We're going to use something else in bonus tools, which you can get with Maya. It's completely free. You just go onto Autodesk's website and download it. So you can get that. And the bonus tools is the key to actually create the hair cards themselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a few more, and then you guys can see the whole layering up. So if we like come around here, I'm just going to do them very, very quickly. I'm not even going to mirror them because that's how cool I am. No. I'm not cool at all. Wasn't cool at all at school. And I'm just going to quickly grab some of these. Again, you guys will take a little bit more time than what I am, as we've only got a short amount of time. I want to make sure that I get everything in, and you guys have a good idea of what we will do. So once we have that, I'm going to select my hair. I'm going to come over to the Utilities tab. This is all in XGen, and I'm going to click on Guides to Curves. Okay, so when we click this, what it will do is it will now create these as actual curves. Okay, so but if you want to get your stuff back, don't worry, it's still all there, so we can still get our curves back, and we can hide them if we need to as well. So this next part is kind of the kind of like the bread and butter of creating hair. Also as well, if you come over to here, you'll see that this has curve points as well. And this looks at the curves that were created, and it basically creates the points as what we were using. So if you decide that you need a few more points, my computer's starting to cry at me, graphics card wise. I had to keep turning it just to, don't ask why, don't know why it's doing that, but it's doing that. So if we come back onto these and we select all our curve points again, what we can do is come over to rebuild, which is on the primitives, and we can actually say how many curve points we want. So if you want, I would say don't go more than 8. Okay. Even for long hair, unless you're doing something like crazier with it. But I would say 8 to, let's say don't go more than 8 and don't go less than 4, okay? Because you kind of want to be able to flick these little bits up. Okay. So again, and this has been affected to all of the curves now. So then if we come over to guides to curves, we then create that. So after we've done this, we're going to use the bonus tools, which comes in up here. So I've got all of my hair planes selected. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over to modeling. And then we are going to come over to curves to ribbon mesh. And we're going to click. It's going to think for a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit.
Just a little bit more.
And just a little bit more. So now, we now have haircards. But they're not, they're ribbons. But they're haircards, but they're ribbons. So what we can now do, because these are created on curves, we can actually still manipulate the curves while it's still being attached. But there's a few things I want to do first. So if you come over to, where are you? Why has everything disappeared? We'll go to...
Real quick, I believe Diogo, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce your name, he said he's never seen this workflow for AAA games.
No? Oh, it's something that I started to do on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's a very, very quick way of creating hair. I managed to create a hairstyle in about 3 days, where normally it was like taking us weeks to create hair. For some reason, do not ask me why, but I think it's because of my graphics card. For some reason, my box has disappeared. So
the channel box.
Yeah, it's missing all of the things. I saw there was an update today on my graphics card, and I didn't want to do it because I knew I was going to do this recording. Evidently, it has failed me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly save, and then we'll just quickly reopen again, just to see if it's that. This is working on the fly, kids. So we're just going to close this down.
What can go wrong will go wrong.
Hell yeah. And we'll close that as well, because that's my emails for work. Can't be seeing that now. So we'll just come back into Maya. Does anybody have any questions while we're waiting?
Mateo says thoughts about ornatrix or interactive groomable splines.
I know you can do this with ornatrix actually, and ornatrix you can actually create the hair planes already, so you don't even have to use the bonus tools. The reason why I'm doing it in Maya is because I know ornatrix is like super expensive. Sorry. I've got a toy behind my screen, and it's Jack Skellington, and it just suddenly dropped, and I was like, whoa, what the heck's going on there? So it's okay, everybody, I'm not going to die today.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, it's a new house, so well, not a new house. It's an old house, but new for me. So it it could have been it could be something hiding away here. I hope not. I would like to sleep well tonight, safely and soundly in my bed.
Just might have a visitor later.
No, thank you. So we're just gonna hide this, and let's see again. Okay. So as I was saying, because these are all built on. Oh, did I answer the question, by the way, about Ornatrix and stuff? Yeah, the reason why I'm not using Ornatrix because I know it is super expensive, and because at work we don't even use Maya, we use Max, and so they weren't gonna. I had a Maya license, so they weren't gonna let me pay to use another hair software. So I was like trying to find a way, something that is accessible for everybody. And you didn't need to buy these extra softwares or extra plugins, should I say, to get stuff to work. That's why we're using XGen. So, but yeah, sure, you could do it in Ornatrix, and I think Hair Farm as well. You can do a similar thing. So with this
and interactive groomable splines.
Interactive groomable splines. Well, you can kind of. Is that with XGen? Because I know you can do groomable splines in XGen. Something using that's yeah. I have tried to do it with groomable splines, but the thing was, it was really hard to direct, and especially with the planes as well. For me, it just didn't. It just didn't feel right. So I felt like a bit like I was like fighting it a little bit. Excuse me. But if you get a video, let me know. Let me know how you got on with it, because that'll be cool for us to know, and if it's something that we should look into again, or I should look into again. So, and then I'll change everything on my workflow. To be honest, each year there's like new tools that are coming out. Like if you guys have ever seen the hairwork stuff that XGen have, man, that is so cool. I cannot wait until that is in game engines, because I know you can put it in Unreal, but it's graphic card dependent. If you don't have an NVIDIA card, you're never going to see it. So like for PlayStation and stuff like that, it's never going to work. I know they used it on The Witcher, so on the PC version. So with people with NVIDIA graphics cards, so UMD folk didn't have it. But anyway, we'll get back to this. So once you've created your hair plane, you will see, if you come over to the channel box over here, we have a few things that we can play with. So if we click here and we set it to 2.5, it actually can change the width of the plane. I'm going to call it hair plane now, even though it's a ribbon plane. I know, guys, it's going to be a hair plane. So bear with me. So you're saying, okay, that's great, but what else can I do? So what you can actually do with it, you can do a little taper at the end. Magic. No. So with the taper, you have to think of it as one. It's like 1 to 0. So 1 is the biggest it will be. You can. Let's give it a go. I've never tried this myself, but as we're here, so if you go past 1, it will start going funky. This we do not want. Unless you do, then good for you. But I don't want this. I don't want this for my haircut. So I normally add just a little bit of a taper onto these. So maybe a 0.5, just something in the middle, because I don't want too much of a taper to it. And what else you could do, you can also give it a curvature, which is really cool. But you're saying, hang on a minute. this is all good, but I've got this nasty point right here. Don't worry, we can sort that out. We can add in, down here, there's width division. So you can actually start to, you can, you know, if you really want to like crank this up, you can. I tend to go to about 4. And the reason why I do this is because at the end, once I've created all my hair, I then duplicate it. So it's kind of like one mesh. And then I do a smooth all over the top, just so everything's like super smooth. I know what people are saying now, but that's going to make the poly count really high. Don't worry, I got a trick for that as well. So, but we'll show that a little bit later. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. So now once we've got this, and I know what you're saying here as well is, okay, that's great, but this one's facing the wrong way. You can actually change the direction here as well. So you can get all of these all lined up just so they're all facing the correct way. Trust me, it is easier than other ways of doing airplanes. The only annoying thing is you can't select multiple and turn them, which is a real pain. I wish that there was something that could, but you could type it in and ask why. I don't know why. I wish you could just move it all together, but you can't. So you can get it kind of in a good direction that you kind of want it to be.
It's just one of those famous Autodesk features.
Yeah, it's the best thing since sliced bread, right? So you can kind of get it into the way you kind of want it, and then you can just twist it a little bit there. Okay. So once you've done this, you can also give it a little bit of twist as well. For some reason, the things on this are crazy, so you're like scrolling forever just to get it to twist, which is really annoying. But again, it's just another one of those things. If there's any programmers out there listening, feel free to check this out and fix it. I would be your best friend forever. So you can start twisting them as well. So as I said, because these are built on curves, what we can actually do, come into our control points, we can actually start to manipulate these as well. So say you didn't get enough wiggle when you were doing your wiggle with your brush and stuff like that, you can still come in here. Let's put this on and start adapting these as well. So yeah. So I do this for the whole of my hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it. Actually, I won't delete it just in case anybody has any questions at the end. That would be a very silly idea to delete it. What I'm going to do is I'll hide it. So once you've done all of that, you then have something that looks like this. So if we do final hair, I'm going to show you a breakdown of how I break the hair up. Let's hide this. So what I do is I tend to do a big bulk first. So this is to get my main shape. So as you can see, and this is where I test it with the geometry that we had earlier. So if I can take off the transparency. So this is why I use that block out that we did earlier. And just to help me make sure that it's fitting to the hairstyle, that it doesn't matter if it's out, doesn't matter if it's in, but it's just a guide just to help me while I'm working blind, basically. So instead of working blind, should I say. So after we've got the main base layer, we basically duplicate those curves. And then we then start to create the second layers. So I don't know why this is called third layers, but it's called third layers for some reason. So with these, I'm basically filling in these. I'm trying to point with my finger. You guys can't see me pointing with my finger, but I am. So you basically fill in these little gaps with a second layer of hair. Okay. So, and it's kind of change up like the repeating pattern of the hair, because sometimes you can get a repetitiveness in the hair with the main bulk. But we'll jump into Marmoset in a bit, and so you guys can see this but broken down.
Do got one question? Why place planes without textures?
So normally by this point you would put the textures on. It's because I quickly grabbed these scenes from my doc, so it kind of didn't have that on there because they're not inked properly. But you would once you get to the curves part, so after you've done the XGen part and you've created the curves, you created the ribbons, you can then actually place the textures. And one of the cool things as well with the ribbons, it actually creates the UVs as a whole thing. So it's sorted out the UVs for you. You just need to squish it so it kind of fits your texture sheet basically. Okay. But yeah, for here it's because I don't have my textures on me right now in this scene because I got them from that Mac over there, so very quickly, and didn't set it up properly. Naughty me. So once you've done that, you can then do your flyaways, which this is going to be like the key part to making the hair look really like dynamic and rich and real. So these little imperfectnesses of the flyaways, they're kind of like my favorite part to do in a way, because we get to a point where the hair is like, okay, yeah, it looks cool, I like it, and then you like add the flyaways and you're like, boom, realistic. So I kind of like doing this part, and to be honest, I probably could have added more, especially at the back of the hair, because they look cool at the front, but the back I could have added a few more coming down here and coming across here. So then once we got that, you'll probably find that you'll have like a beautiful line that you didn't want. So then what we then do is we add what they call, I've got the name right there, but for some reason I can't read it. I don't know what the heck's happened to my brain. Transitional hairs. There we go. Got there in the end. So with the transitional hairs, what this actually does, it creates a blend for the hair just so it gets rid of that nasty line. And we basically just kind of jig them around a little bit just so you kind of see they're kind of a little bit uneven. But this creates a nice blend from the harsh line to the main hair. Okay. Once you've done all of that, as I said before, what I would do is I've already done it with this haircut already, but we would duplicate it and then combine it. And then what I would then do, I'm not going to do it for this because it's already been done. Shift right click and we'll smooth it. So basically what that does, any extra points that you had, it will just smooth them right over. But I'm getting you guys thinking, that's not game ready hair. No, but it will be. So then what you do, you can kind of see right now the hair count is crazy. You'd never ever have this much unless you're in Horizon Zero Dawn. Then you probably would. But that is only for the main character, and half the time you'll see your stuff in LOD lauded anyway. Like, it's very, very rare that you see your character with your 60,000 tries. Maybe for the cinematics, but in game, nah, don't be fooled. So once we've done that, we will then come over to, where is it? Right thing.
Just so you know, we have 15 minutes left.
Okay, I'll go quick. So we're going to come over to reduce, and we're going to click this little button here, and you'll see here that we're going to set this to try limit, and then here we can actually set how many polys we want. So for hair, it's normally about 20,000. Okay, so then we click apply, let it do its thing, and there we go. We have our hair. Yes, it looks a bit crazy and ugly, but the silhouette has stayed exactly the same. You don't have any harsh points or anything, and you can see it's actually under 20,000. So thank you very much, Maya. Very nice of you. So we're going to jump into Marmoset, and I'm just going to quickly show you the actual hair in Marmoset, what the final product that we actually make on the course is going to be something like this. Well, if you do this hairstyle, it'll be something like this. If you choose a different hairstyle, it won't. But it's up to you. So I'm going to quickly, where are we? Is it done in separate groups? Yes, it is. So if I quickly turn off the flyaways, turn off those, turn off the transitions. So I'm just going to turn them on one by one, basically, so you guys can see. So this is the main bulk that we did. And then we add our secondary hairs. And you can see already how that's starting to change and give it depth. Because what we really need to do with hair, especially for AAA games now, we need to really make sure that we've got depth in our hair. And then once we do that, we add our flyaways. Pretty, I love it. And then we will add our transitional. So you can see with the transitional how much it actually changes. Okay, if I turn that on and off a few times, on and off, on and off, on and off. I'm not stuck. It's okay. It's cool. So that is basically how we build up hair.
You got one more question. Can you explain how to create the textures? That XGen, the general workflow, single plane using guides, using Arnold for color, normal, etc.
So for the actual hair texture, because I know XGen is really, really good for creating like the hair texture itself. But I do find that it is really, really tricky to control, and something that I found, like even in the industry, like sometimes technical things people can't do. So we need to try and think of a way that everybody can do it, because it's no good if, like, for example, in my team, like some people know how to use XGen and some people don't. So and plus if we're sending stuff out to outsourcers as well, we need something that's quick and easy. So for this, we actually did it all in fiber mesh. So basically I've got an example right here. So the actual texture looks like this. And as I said at the beginning, if you guys haven't seen the other 3 videos, I do show you how to do this. So we basically do one section and then I'll show you how to texture it as well. So if you guys haven't already, go check out those videos after this. Don't leave now. Don't leave now. I said, don't leave now. But we actually show you how I show you how to create a hair texture and how to get it into Marmoset with the alpha as well. Okay, and it's actually the same hair texture that we use here, so there's no trickery here, no trickery at all. So what was I going to say? I think that was it for the demo.
All right, and real quick, I have one more real quick question. What's the recommendation for maximum poly count, triangle count?
So, I mean, it all depends really. I think 20K is a good amount. That's basically all of what our haircuts were on Odyssey. So, oh, by the way,
it would really depend on what engine you're using.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, like I know Horizon, they claim that it's like 60,000 tries or something crazy. But okay, yeah, the initial haircut is that, but when it gets in game and you apply it to the LODs, like there's like a lodding system that every game has. That game in-game character that you see on screen, that tiny little thing on screen, like that isn't a 60K hair, and it's even the same for us on Odyssey. Like I think 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄's hair was about, and Cassandra's was about 50, but that's mainly for like cinematics and stuff like that. The actual in-game hair that you saw was about 20, and then it gets halved and then halved again for each time you load something. So, and that's one of the cool things actually about using the reduction. You can actually do all your LODs right here, so which is really cool.
Now, if you could, Ashley, real quick. So Ashley's course on XMD Academy is AAA Salon Game Hair Creation. It's $497 for the live class, which will, you have 10 weeks of content, and every week we have a live session where you can come in, get critiques, ask questions, and then pretty much once you sign up, you get a welcome email that'll explain how everything works. And if you could, Ashley, just give them a quick breakdown of your course.
Yeah, sure thing. So in the course, we basically go through what we've done here, but in a lot more depth. There's a lot more theory involved with it. So I teach you how to actually know where to place the actual hairline and things like that. So there's a lot of theory involved with it, and I always start each section with a theory section. So why we do it like this, and if you're having trouble with XYZ, this is what you could do. We also, for week 10, we kind of have like a little special thing. So after we've created our main hair, so we cover beards, we do eyelashes, we do eyebrows, so anything that's hair related. We even create like a buzz cut hair, which is cool as well. So if you want to put that underneath your hair, you can.
You actually had a question that pertained to that. It said, would this way of creating hair be applied to making hair like afros?
So for this type of hair, yeah, you could, for like the flyaways and stuff. But if you wanted to do something like an afro, it would be like a similar way that we do a buzz cut, which is we basically create different layers of hair going out. Like, so we'll create one side. We'll use XGen to create the, actually that's when we use the grooming somebody mentioned earlier, and we actually then bake that's out as a texture. So then that's how you could do the afro, and then it'll be, each time we duplicate the mesh out, we have a different texture to the side, which then is has got a different alpha on it to create that fuzziness of an afro. So it's a little bit different for afro hair, but it's the stuff that I show you in the course that it gives you techniques to actually use for that type of thing. Okay. Actually, I did have one of my students do an afro haircut actually, and he used that technique for it. So also at the end of the course, the very last week, after we've done all human hair, we actually do a animal fur section as well. So we'll actually be creating a werewolf. So I'll show you guys how to do very light hair, and then how to create the planes as well from that. Oh, I think that's it. So come
everybody, yeah, definitely come check out Ashley's course. Classes do start next Monday on the 15th. Everything will be available at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for anybody that is signed up, and spaces are limited. There's only a few spots left, so come and jump in. Sign up tonight if you can. And we have one more question: whether or not be a live course. Yes, there is a lot. This is the live course that you're signing up for. It is pre-recorded, then you have a live session every week where Ashley will answer questions, give you new techniques, do critiques, feedback.
Yep.
That's pretty much how it works.
Yeah, for the actual live video, I'm not as crazy, just to let you know. I'm quite calm, and I go for everything slowly, so there'll be no crazy jokes or anything. So that's just the treat for the live sessions. So, and also
homework. Tell them a little bit about that.
So each week for the homework, so each section of the video that we get, that you get each week, at the end of it we'll do a homework, so you guys can follow each section as I do it as well. So you guys will be able to watch a bit and then do the homework. So, and it will be depending what the topic is. So for example, you guys see my screen. So we start off by the hair theory, actually blocking out the hair. And at the end of that week, for homework, we'll get you to do basically exactly what I've done for the homework. And then that following live session that we have, I'll give you guys feedback as well with that. But you guys can contact when you sign up for the course, you guys have like access to me. So I'm there to help you. So it doesn't just have to be for the live sessions. I'm available all week to, maybe not for live sessions, but if you guys message me and stuff, I'm pretty quick at replying. So even if it's like extra draw overs and paint overs of your work, or feedback, or if you've got problems with something, I'm available. Not 24/7, but close. 23 and a half. That's what we'll say.
No, okay. We have a Discord for all the students as well, and there are forums that you can post your work on. That's for students only. So yeah, you'll have contact, and if you have any technical issues, you have contact to me pretty much 24/7. So yeah.
Cool.
Anybody else got any quick questions? We have like one more minute. There be any engine rendering, Unity or Marmoset or Unreal?
So for now, it's Marmoset. So I will show you how to get all your stuff in Marmoset. We actually even cover things like flow maps and stuff. I will show you how to do some lighting for your hair as well. And I even show you how's a nice way to present your work, because that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants a portfolio piece out of this. So I cover that in the course. So I show you how to get your work into Marmoset, show you how to put all the materials together. So literally we go through every single process of the hair, from the very start to the base mesh that we have to the very end. And I'll show you every single step. Well, I will hold your hand and I will be there for you. I'll be there.
You got a couple minutes. You can sing.
No, they don't want to hear me sing.
This is definitely not live.
Yeah.
It's not being recorded.
No. Oh yeah, Mike.
Yeah, Spicer wants you to sing.
Oh, Spicer would.
All right. Anybody wants to hear him sing? Raise your hand.
Oh gosh. Oh dear.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming. Don't forget, classes start on the 15th, so registration will end. And as soon as the course fills up, registration will end. So hurry up on and come on in.
Come on,
and learn from the master himself. Invented his own technique.
To help everybody. That's how we want to do it.
Don't you want to learn how to make hair like Assassin's Creed?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We had some beautiful hair on that game. Well, I wasn't the one who done it all, but we had some really, really nice hair on that.
All right. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.